What's happening, comic book fans? Now, while most of us genuinely enjoy comic books as a medium and collecting them as a hobby, there are some things that you have to be mindful of to safeguard yourself from some of the bad actors in the world. So, using my experience, I've compiled 6 tips to help you protect yourself in the world of comics. Let's get into it. And for more comic books and comic related content, head over to genoscomics.com. Okay, people, so as I said in the intro, while the world of comics is a fun one and one that we can all engage in and just share and enjoy, there are unfortunately bad actors in the world, in the comic community, and other dangers that you have to be mindful of that can potentially hamper your experience. So, using my own wisdom, knowledge, and experience from over the years, I've compiled a short list of tips that will help protect you and everyone and your precious comics and your money spent on this. So I implore all of you as well to drop your tips in the comments below. We can all just share and connect and kind of look at things from either other perspectives, other experiences that will all just better the community as a whole and make for a more pleasurable experience. So let's jump right into it. Number 6, Collectibles Insurance. So now with this one, I will not highlight any specific company over another one. I just say, hey, go out and just do your own research and see what benefits each company kind of carries with them. The most important part of this is that whether you're a homeowner or a renter, I strongly encourage you to look at either your homeowner's insurance policy, your renter's insurance, if you have renter's insurance, and look through those, because I'm willing to bet that most of the time they will not have anything specific related to collectibles of any sort, especially not comic books. And if they do, it's going to be the bare minimum. You could have a vast collection, and whatever might be in your policy will cover none of that, or not any amount that will be any significance to you or any help at all. So I implore all of you to research Collectibles Insurance and just look at that. Even if you don't have big enough collection, just something that you might just find interesting to look into now. And I imagine for a lot of people who have hit a certain threshold with their collection, either size or monetary value amount, that, hey, you know what, this might be something I need to look into. And if you don't have a bigger collection, it may be something that you will consider as your collection grows, which is the subject of another video down the pipeline. But even if you have a smaller collection, but you just like, you know what, I just want to be on top of this, these are my comics, no matter how much they are. It could be a bunch of bulk books that were dollar bin or dollar bin, $2 bin, whatever. They're still important to you. You still cherish them. So hey, you know, you want to protect those. Even if they weren't specifically purchased for an investment, the fact that you put your hard-earned money into them, there's something that you want to protect and cherish. They are an investment in that aspect. So collectible insurance is something I implore all of you to take a look into. Tip number 5, storage units and safety deposit boxes. So right off the bat, storage units, I'm just going to tell you outright, please steer clear of those outdoor storage units for a whole host of reasons. One, they're outdoor. There's not climate control. You have no protection from the elements while your belongings are there, while you're there trying to sort through your belongings. If you go there to look through some boxes of comics, depending on where you are, what region you're in, you got to worry about the weather elements, rain, snow, humidity. You don't want any of that. All of those are bad for your comic books. Promise you, just steer clear of all that. Plus, you don't know who has access to them and when. If you do want a storage unit, I will look into climate controlled storage units in your area. And the one I have is climate controlled, not key card access. You get a pin to access it, and it's actually only accessible during certain hours, like 6 to 10. So there's definitely a few security levels there, security measures in place to prevent the just unwarranted access by anybody out there. And there's another tip that I'll touch on in one of the later points here, but that's something that you should absolutely look into, especially for your own spatial considerations. If you're, again, homeowner, renter, whatever you are, you might not have the space to house all your collection with you. So it's something that you're going to have to look into. Connected with that, safety deposit boxes, because if you get into bigger books, I'm not even $1,000 book. I don't have multiple 4-figure books, but you get into 4, 5, 6-figure books, $1 million books, you're probably not just keeping all of those at home. If you got a couple $1,000, $2,000 books, yeah, you probably are. But once you get to a certain point, you're thinking, okay, these I gotta protect these even more. Maybe you might have several security measures at your house, but at a certain point, you gotta say, okay, you know what? These gotta put these in a safe deposit box. Gotta be protected there. You can go to the bank during access and whatever hours the bank's hours are, or safe deposit access hours are, and go there, sit there and take some time and just look at your books like, oh man, pull out that Amazing Fantasy 15 or Captain America Comics 1, whatever it is, you're looking at it, and that's it. You might have Action Comics 1, who knows? I don't know. Detective 27. But that's just something that you have to consider. And again, it does throw off, again, hamper your enjoyment of comic books, collecting comic books, just enjoying the medium. But that's just kind of what you have to do in these trying times, because as comics grow and as you'll kind of see this through line throughout some of these points here, there are a lot of bad actors out there, a lot of dangers that you need to watch out for. And yeah, it does kind of suck, but hey, just the best to protect what you spent your money on, what you're trying to enjoy. So those are just some measures that you should look into. Tip number 4, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Fortunately, that's just the world we're in. Yes, there are deals out there, but let's be serious. You're not gonna find Avengers #1 for $50 at a garage sale. Nobody's just gonna be listing Amazing Fantasy 15 on Craigslist for $300. It's just not gonna happen. Are there still great deals to be found out there? Absolutely. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, wherever, garage sales, estate sales, there are still tons of deals to be had out there. You just have to do some extra digging to get to them. But some of those other ones, you're not just gonna be finding these massive multi-$1,000 books, 4 or 5, 6-figure books for a couple $100 just anywhere. That's not really gonna happen. So to save yourself the heartache, the stress, the headache, the time, just all that, and just again, I kind of base a lot of these on experience and wisdom and knowledge, just that you'll pick up as you get more time in the hobby, just in the world. But you can kind of spot some of those like a mile away. Once you kind of see it, like, oh, you know what, red flag, I already know what that is. That's clearly a scam. I'm steering clear of that. It's the kind of same thing when I go to a convention, love conventions, and I look at a couple of books at a dealer's booth, and if I just spot a couple of books, especially books that I know, I'm like, I see the price on them, I'm just probably just gonna walk away from the booth, because I know everything there is gonna be overpriced, and I'm just not even gonna bother wasting my time digging through there. But yeah, they probably got a bunch of books you want, but they're all gonna be marked up just in general, but then they probably marked them up even more for the convention aspect of it. So just steer clear of that. Just kind of take that, your gut, use your instinct, unless, again, the caveat with that is if you're prone to just making terrible life decisions, then I don't know, you might need some extra guidance on that. Call a friend, whatever, use a lifeline. But just steer clear of some of those, just so you don't get taken and then have to deal with the stress. So that's just that. If it seems to be true, just let it go. Tip number 3, mind your surroundings. So this one is a personal safety tip, because yes, again, there are bad actors out there, as I said, and unfortunately this isn't like we talked about just comics and everybody's worried about, oh, fraud or whatever else. Sometimes there are people who out there who want to harm you as an individual. And I know this this list kind of went grim, but this is the world. We humans, is Earth. This is the thing that happens. So mind your surroundings. A couple tips: you can bring a friend if you're going to a deal. If you're going to meet someone at their house, which is, how do I say this one? It's kind of I don't even know how to phrase this one, because a lot of times you have to meet somebody at their house, especially if you're going for a bigger collection. Like, they're just not gonna have it anywhere else, so they're gonna keep it at their house. So when you go to someone's house, share your location info, bring a friend if possible, just someone to just have there some backup. And again, most of the time it's gonna be clear on the up and up, but just, you never know. Just sometimes out there, especially you're talking about comic books and big money, if you're going, people are probably expecting you to carry lots of cash. You're going for a big collection, like, hey, this person might be carrying thousands of dollars on me. Unless y'all agree to do a transfer, then that's one thing. But just be careful of that. Watching wherever you're meeting public, if you can, for smaller things. I've done that. Facebook Marketplace deals. I'd share one tip, sharing location info. I went to meet someone to buy something from Facebook Marketplace. It wasn't related to comics, but it was like, all right, short term. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to post a video. And so what I did was, in the video, I shared my location, where I was going to, the name of the person I was going to meet, like their address, all of that info, and I set it to be scheduled because I knew I was going to be back. It wasn't going to be that long of a trip, so I set it to be scheduled maybe like an hour after that. And again, there's more efficient ways to do that, but I was just like, okay, I can get that out just in case something happens to me. Like, this is out there, they can start there. And another thing you can do, when my dude is like, hey, next time you do that, you can just let him know so I can just hit him up real quick. Like, hey, I'm going over here. If you don't hear back from me, send out search squad, send out the boys, go rescue me, all that good stuff. So that's just some tips that you should be mindful of. Like, hey, you know what, you can do this if for whatever reason, like you don't feel safe, like just do that. Be mindful. Again, just be mindful of your surroundings. Another one, kind of going back to the storage units, also be mindful of that as well, because your storage units and your house, if you have books on display, if you're at your storage unit, like books on display at your house, be careful to keep those out of line of sight from the windows, obviously for UV protection as well, but also because people can look through your windows like, oh, look at that, and he's got all these expensive, what are those, comic books? I hear they're worth money. I wonder, oh, I know this person goes to work. Oh, I know she gets off this time. I can go break in their house and blah, 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 this, and then ravage your whole collection. And then you come home, boom, glass broken, all your precious comic books are gone. You don't want to deal with that. Storage units. Again, mind your surroundings. When you're in your storage unit, if you have a bunch of your books out, be careful, like watch who's around there. If you're digging through your books and then pulling out long boxes, and you're flipping through books, watch people if they're walking by, if they're close by, close proximity. I don't know, either guard what you're doing, because you never know, somebody could come back and break into your unit. Again, this is especially for outdoor stuff. Again, steer clear of that one. But again, mind your surroundings, just keep a watchful eye out, gotta be vigilant. And tip number 2, don't be afraid to walk away. This is kind of similar to if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, but this one is just for a different number of reasons. Either FOMO, maybe you think a book is rare when it actually isn't, for whatever reason. It might not just be a good deal. It may be hitting you at an emotional center, and I want to jump into this deal. I want this book, or whatever else. Maybe you're at a convention, or you go to a garage sale and you have to take a trip, and you're finding out that there weren't any good deals. You're not getting anything there, and you don't want to leave. You just don't want to leave empty-handed. So you're gonna make a deal that doesn't really benefit you just for the sake of coming back with something? No, like, just step away. It's okay. Like, step away from the deal. If you get a bad vibe from somebody, or if a dealer is being an asshole, like, just walk away. It's okay. I know a lot of people that deal with this at comic shops. You go to a comic shop and they don't price. You find out that they don't price their books. They're pricing them up at the counter using eBay, key collector app, whatever else. And you take a book, you dig it through, like, oh man, I need this book for my collection, I need this book off my want list, boom, boom, boom. Oh, this looks cool, I want to read this one. Set your stack at the counter, and they say, oh, well, I got to price these. And now you just pulled 15 books out, and now they got to price each of these individually. Now you just have to wait there for that to happen? No, just leave them there, walk away. I don't have time for this. Unless, again, I figure like a lot of us in the comic book community as collectors and buyers, a lot of us kind of unite on that one thing. Like, we're not gonna just put up with that and kind of deal with that, and those shops kind of deal with the fall of that. And I've done that before. I've seen a dealer do that, a retailer, and I was like, all right, well, it was a couple books, and I was like, well, and he priced them out. I was like, yeah, I'm not paying that for that book. No way. He's using Overstreet, and the books were dinged up. I'm like, so no, not a chance. I'm not doing that. Not putting myself in that position. Protect your hard or easy earned money. I'm not gonna judge anybody. So, like, just walk away from it. If it's like, don't feel pressure to get into a deal. If you start talking to a vendor, a dealer, a retailer, or wherever else, just 2 shoes, walk away. I'm out of here. And the number 1 tip for protecting yourself in the world of comics: due diligence. What do I mean by this? Especially this, particularly for online dealings, Facebook Marketplace, any of the apps, whatever. It's kind of similar to, if it's too good to be true, but this one is, hey, like, especially if you're dealing with bigger books, make sure you're protected. Ask for more pictures. If they only post 1 picture and you start to send some messages and they're not responding to you, like, that's not a good one. Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, a lot of those Facebook groups, there are a lot of buy, sell, trade groups on Facebook. So you kind of go in there and people list their books, or if you're doing one, like, just see, maybe you find some mutuals, like, hey, have you ever done business with so-and-so? And it's like, oh yeah, I have, like, we've done business like this, blah, 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 bought books from them, they bought books from me, we traded, all that type of stuff, get some good recommendations, some good reviews from the person. Cool, like, okay, maybe we can do some business. PayPal, goods and services, protect yourself against fraud. Ask for specific pictures. So what I'm talking about this is, a lot of times you get bigger books and people are like, okay, why is this book at this price? It should be going for way more. And then you kind of see, because a lot of times that's how they suck people in, and it'll be fraud. They won't even have the book in possession, or they may have had it at one point and they're selling it to multiple people, and they're just kind of slipping out the deal, keeping the money, keeping the book, and doing it rinse and repeat for another dealer, or for another buyer, I mean. So I asked him, like, hey, can I get some more pictures of this book? Can I, if it's, a graded book, can I get the serial numbers? Let me go double check the website. Because, again, with all of that, everybody's hearing now about the fake CGC books that are going out there. They're using the same certification numbers and matching them up to books that have actually existed. But what those books are in those cases are fake books. So, again, you got to be careful of all these things. And again, like, you can ask the person, like, hey, can you show me a picture of this or that angle? And maybe they'll hit you back, okay, here you go, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, you might be legit. Other times, like, oh, I'll send you when I get home. I'm at work right now. You don't hear anything. Like, no, because then sometimes you'll fall into, you feel pressure. Oh, gotta take this deal. And then all of a sudden, you're not getting tracking info. The seller ghosts you. You get blocked. And now you're stuck waiting. You don't have any information. You don't know when the book's coming, if it's ever coming. And then if something shows up, it'll be like a pack of phone books or some newspapers or something, and we're just out of money and you don't get a book. So be mindful of all that. So yes, these are just, again, 6 tips that I've compiled using just my own knowledge and experience and wisdom from being in the world of comics and just my own experiences. And I implore all of you, again, to share in the comments below any tips or some experiences that you've had just as a buyer, as a collector, on how you've protected yourself or how other people have. Maybe you have the bad experience, but you learned from it. Feel free to share that one. If maybe it may be able to help someone out down the line. And it's like, oh, hey, you can connect. And I've had that same experience too. Oh yeah, that's a tip I use too. Oh, another perspective. I never thought about that. Thanks for that tip. Because again, this is a comic. This is the world of comics. It can be a social experience, one that we can share and engage in and have fun. And that's what we all want to do as this hobby grows. So we all want to be mindful of that and make it fun for everyone else to engage in. So that is that. Protect yourself out there, people. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. It's Genoscomics. Thanks for watching, and peace out.